Hey everybody, Chad from Colorado Giants. I'm going to do a quick update on the seedlings today and just a brief overview about the seedling process. I had a few comments, people sent me emails asking specific questions, and I'm going to try and not get wordy. This is going to be rapid fire, so pay attention. Okay, so when do you start your seeds? Great question. That has to do with plane flying overhead. That has to do with how long you want your pumpkin to grow, when your weigh-offs are, and all that stuff. So pumpkins can grow for a maximum of 100 days-ish. So you want to reverse your first weigh-off, or the weigh-off that you want to go to, minus 100 days from that. And that's when you will get your ideal target range for pollinating your pumpkin. Sometime in a perfect world, that'll be mid-June, early July. If you're just growing for, you know, 1,000-pound pumpkin, 500-pound pumpkin, you can pollinate all the way through June, whatever. If you want to get serious, your target date should be mid-July or mid-June. Because of the weather, you have to start them inside. So that's why I start them in these little foam cups. And then I just drilled some holes in the bottom. I used a soldering iron to poke holes in the bottom. I start the seeds in this. I put them in an incubator, set the incubator for 85 degrees, and then within 2 to 3 days, you should usually 2 to 4 days, somewhere in there, you should have a seed sprout or root. It's important to plant extras. Out of the 6, 7, 8, 9, out of the 10 that I started, I had 3 that were a no-go. One was a total dud. This is one that, like, the leaf started, but then the root didn't come out from it, so that one was a dud. Thankfully, I had 3 of everything except my 1540 something Urana. So I still have 2 2350s, 2 2005s, 2 2118s, and I only have 1 of the other ones. So today I'm going to start a few backup plants as well as starting my melons. I use a seed starter mix for the initial starting, just some light fluffy soil. I don't have the bag nearby, but it's Warrior Light. You can get it from a hydroponic store or online. So that's how you start your seeds. Now we're going to pot them up. Okay, so potting up your seedlings. Ideally, in a perfect world, I was trying to skip this step, but daycare's been closed due to coronavirus for a little while, and I've been busy, so I just haven't had time to build the heat structures inside the greenhouse to keep these wet, because what you're trying to do is get these in the ground as soon as possible so all the roots can start to expand. Once the roots expand to a certain point, then the plant says, all right, it's go time, and it really starts to take off. You want to facilitate that as soon as possible. So that's, again, why we're planting them early inside and then putting them outside as soon as we can. So I use a 1-gallon grow bag. Make sure you always label everything so you can keep your genetics straight. In this mixture, I use some soil that's from the pumpkin patch. I put it in my cement mixer. I add a little bit of the seed starting mix so that it still stays nice, light, and fluffy. In the bag, I add 2 Wallace Wow starter packs. So this is a slow, time-released fertilizer that will give it just a good boost. I'm going to pause you real fast. Sorry about that. Just somebody texted me that I wanted to answer, and they asked a good question. They said, Chad, why don't you just put these in your pumpkin patch right now? And that's a good question. It's Saturday, and thankfully Grandma is watching. My son and Emily took Charlotte to work, our youngest, so I have a little bit of free time. I am going to try and get the mini hoop houses inside the greenhouse done today, but I don't know what the temperatures are going to be, and it's not worth the risk to put these straight into the greenhouse when it's going to snow 3 or 4 days next week. It's just not worth the risk. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to put those little sensors in the greenhouse, and then that will tell me if I'm maintaining the temperatures I want to maintain, even if it's snowing outside. So that's why I'm potting them up, because I'm out of time for these little pots. April is the 2nd snowiest month in Colorado in general, so yeah, don't want to get wild with it. Okay, so we have your seedling, your 1-gallon grow bag. I add 2 things to this. One is azos. It's a powderized nitrogen fixing bacteria. So I put that in the bottom. And then I add some Ron Wallace mycorrhiza. You can go to his website and it'll tell you everything it does. It's basically magic dust, and it makes everything a little bit better. So I'm going to take the bottom off this and show you the roots. Hopefully this one has some good ones. This is a 2350 Ginger. So all these roots right here, that's good. So we're out of time with this pot. It needs more room to grow. I'm going to sprinkle some of that beneficial bacteria on it. Get some of this, put it on there, and lightly pat it in. You want direct root contact with this, so the more the better. So then I put my hand on the bottom. I also watered these really heavily before I did this, so that usually the soil will cooperate and not clump. Even this process, if I was going to pot these up, I should have done this a few days ago, but I wasn't positive I was going to do it. So you can see around, hopefully the camera's picking it up, all these nice roots, all these nice fuzzy roots. That's what we're after. Big roots grow big plants, grow big pumpkins. So now that that's in there, you take a little bit more of your goodies, sprinkle them around. If you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Knocking on the door 1,000 subscribers. It's pretty cool. Share it with a friend, all that good stuff. And then you just backfill. So now there's direct contact with our goodies on those roots. And then we just backfill. Again, this is just dirt from the pumpkin patch where it's going to live in. Start introducing it to some of that biology that's out there, mixed with just a smidge of that seed starting mixture. At this point, if you don't know already, the first true leaf, it's going to go this way on this pumpkin plant. So that means opposite of the first true leaf, the vine is going to go. So the vine, if this were in the dirt, is going to want to run this way. So I'm going to start to encourage it to go that way and just kind of lay the plant down just a little bit in that direction. Do not push hard. Do not, go wild with that. You're just giving it a slight encouragement to lay down and run that direction. And that's all. Don't get aggressive with it, because that would just be bad. So that's all I'm doing there. You can see it's just probably at a, I don't know what, maybe a 30-20 degree angle, something in there. And that's enough to kind of get me going in the right direction. And that's it. That's how you pot them up. From this, maybe a week and a half max in this bag. And then I'm going to put them in the greenhouse. By that time, I should have enough data that'll tell me that it's safe to put these inside the greenhouse with the setup, whatever setup I end up arranging. I'll do a video on that. So again, subscribe if you want to see it. And then next year, which will be the 3rd year, I won't have to make that, I won't have to gather that data. I can use the same system if it works out, and then I'll know it's going to be good. So thanks for watching. I've got lots of work to do. Hopefully you do too. We'll see you next time.